Where are you investing your own money these days? Is it just businesses? Are you buying stocks or real estate?
I don't buy stocks.
You
I
don't
have
own
some.
any? Okay.
I have some, and it continues to accumulate. But by and large, I have, I have some like different bond strategies that my advisors might use. Like we use a lot of securitized loans, basically. It would also be like stock market investments. Probably just that generalized stock market that I never touch. I have a financial advisor that runs it. Some varying types of bond portfolios because I want there to not be a lot of movement in the price so that I can use it to get loans to buy more businesses or to fund businesses, have lines of credit. But for the most part, yeah, I'm buying businesses today more than anything. I mean, there's just not a better trade I can find. Like, for instance, we just bought a business in the defense space. That I think makes a ton of sense. And that business is 90% seller financed. It's profitable. We make all our money back in like a year. That's not easy to do every single time, but like where can you do that in stock market investing? The leverage is just really hard. And once you get good at running businesses and investing in businesses, I think it's hard to see opportunity elsewhere. And then the best business investors always buy businesses that are strategic. So these days it's like, all right, Tanner and I were just looking at what media assets can we acquire?
Yeah.
So can I acquire a couple different channels? What about some licensing agreements? Can we buy, the assets of this company to plug into what we're doing here? And then it becomes like this giant game that you get to play with, connecting all these puzzle pieces together. And that I think is like the highest level of rich.
Yeah.
Like when you don't really know what you're doing in business and you don't have a lot of money, you think everything's a how problem. You're like, how do I do this? When you have some money and some understanding of business, it becomes a who problem. Who can I go to solve my problem? And then when you hit the final level, it becomes a buy solution, which is like, where can I go buy with a high degree of certainty the solution to my problem today? I can't hire somebody. Let me go do an acqui-hire of a business over here. I need more revenue. Let me buy this company to insert into it. And once you learn this level of the game, it's really hard to be poor again, I think.
And how does it work when you own these businesses you buy into? Do you just take like a percentage of the revenue as your own income, or do you choose not to take income to reinvest?
Well, it depends where you're at in your life. For me personally, I take a percentage of most business deals we do, or it goes to the portfolio. Now we have a company, we have Main Street Holding Company and Contrarian Thinking Capital. Those two entities have teams on them. So this is the stuff that like private equity guys never tell us. I don't know why. I guess they want a moat around it. But a lot of the revenue goes to fund the companies. And so we'll go do another deal with the revenue we get from one company. Goes to fund the employees. We hire a few more people to run these entities. And then, we take a lot of revenue for ourselves. I mean, that's the ultimate tax play. It's a little crazy that that's how the government is set up. But, you look at the difference and you know all about this. But if you make just earned income and you're a high earner, the government takes 50% of what you earn. So when they say tax the rich, well, if you're making multi-millions, they're taking 50% of what you earn if it's an earned income, aka wages. But if you're able to instead get most of your earnings from distributions and capital gains, you make your money do all the work for you, you can have a 9% tax bracket. And so,
how do you get a 9% tax bracket?
Well, you'd have to have a decent percentage in real estate. You'd have to take loans from your own portfolio and use the loans as income as opposed to taking direct distributions and capital gains. Like there's so many ways the rich game the system.
Do you think that's the way it should be?
No, I don't.
How should it be then?
I think that
the earned income is taxed at a lower rate.
I think that we should incentivize people to work more and deploy more capital. I think why they tried to do the distributions at a lower tax rate and capital gains at a lower tax rate is because they wanted people to put more money into the economy and keep the economy growing.
You know, it'd be crazy. Imagine flipping the tax brackets. The more money you make, the less you're taxed.
I mean, I would like that. Do you know how much Elon Musk has paid in taxes? Personally?
A ton.
$10 billion. He is the single biggest taxpayer in human history. Isn't that wild?
But what's crazy is
I'm okay with it. I would do that too.
That's a drop in the bucket, though. When you look at like how much the United States spends, like even $10 billion, nothing. I mean, that's like a day.
Yeah. It's true.
He funds it like the day of the government.
Yeah, that was like a very unpopular reel we did once as we tried to explain, I'm going to mess up the math, so I won't do it publicly, but we tried to explain how long the U.S. government could actually fund itself if it took all income from the top 1%. And it was somewhere between 30 days and 6 months. And so it was like, if you eviscerate the wealthy, the government continues for 30 days. And so, I think this idea of taxing the rich at the highest level doesn't really work. I think the only person that has made a really good case about how to grow our way out of our debt and everything that we have happening is Vivek talking about GDP growth. Like the only way out is growth.
I do think a reverse tax bracket would be very interesting, though, because I was thinking to myself, if Trump were to lower taxes significantly for the next 4 years, and you just know for the next 4 years, the top tax bracket is going to be 20%. How much harder would you work over the next 4 years to maximize that?
Yeah, I would work.
I would work really hard. And so I'm thinking, what if there's a tiered system where it's almost like like a pyramid where it goes up and like you hit the max taxes at like $400,000 or $500,000. But then if you make over $1 million, tax a little less. Over 5 million, tax a little less. Over 10 million, tax a little less. I think it would really push people over that hurdle to just, all right, let's make the most of this now. It's just an interesting concept. I've never thought of it until now.
And I think actually for salary earners, you already see what a decreased tax incentive does for people who earn salary. All you have to do is look at the U-Haul rates leaving California and the U-Haul rates going from Texas to California.
Yeah.
It's like 2x cheaper going from Texas to California as opposed to the other way. And the reason why is because people who make a lot of money are like, we're not staying here. They're going to tax the hell out of us. We're moving to another state, which is probably why Texas is booming in a way California isn't. So I think you're probably right. And it's good that we have like a federal system where people can move with their feet. I think that's actually really, really important for like health of economies, because just like companies, could you imagine if you were just held hostage by a company, you could never earn more, you could never leave, how they would treat you? They wouldn't treat you very well. And so I think we should want that inside of our country too. And we should reward the people that treat us well, cities, states, etc.
I think states should also give people an amount to move there, like as an incentive.
Like Alaska.
does.
Yeah, Alaska does. But like
Nobody's taken. Is anybody moving to Alaska?
But like imagine
It's too
certain
dark
states.
there.
You
Yeah.
can raise that amount a little
Yeah.
bit.
It's just bright all the time.
Yeah.
18 hours of sunlight.
Although sometimes I even get tempted. You guys ever see on the internet, it's like, move to this small Italian city and make $200,000 if you stay and they'll give you a house. I'm like, that looks pretty nice.
Although really quick, I just want to say before we go into that, for those that aren't aware, I got a coffee company. It's called bankrollcoffee.com, and our goal is to bring you the highest quality coffee at the most affordable price. But in doing so, I had to find the right e-commerce platform to use. And that, of course, is where our sponsor, Shopify, is there to help. Shopify is the #1 checkout on the planet, with less carts going abandoned and way more sales going.
For example, Shopify has a service called Shop Pay that lets customers save their email address, credit card, shipping, and billing information, which boosts conversions up to 50%.
And if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are strolling or scrolling, whether that's on the web, in your store, in a feed, or anything in between. All in all, nobody is selling better than Shopify. So if you want the same checkout that Bankroll Coffee uses, sign up for a $1 trial period at shopify.com/ICH, all lowercase. Again, that's shopify.com/ICH to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/ICH with the link down below in the description.
Thank you to Shopify for sponsoring this episode, and back to the podcast.